Steve Wright underwent a heart bypass operation months before his death, a friend has revealed. The veteran radio presenter passed away at the age of 69 and was found dead at his London flat on Monday. Police said the Radio 2 star's death was not being treated as suspicious. According to Mark Wells, the former controller of ITV Entertainment, the much-loved broadcaster had undergone secret surgery before his passing and was more ill than he let on. Speaking about his late friend on Colin Edmonds' podcast Behind the Scenes, Mr. Wells said, "Steve had a heart operation about 15 months ago. He had a bypass operation that had gone well, and I think he was more ill than he was letting on. The recovery had gone pretty well, but the events of the last couple of days was probably what in the end came for him," he added. Earlier this week, Steve's son Tom revealed he had flown from his home in Los Angeles to London to care for his dad in his final weeks. Tom said he was grateful he had got to know his dad in a way he never had before, as they spent time together before he died. In a touching post on social media, Tom said, "It meant the world to me that I was able to get to know my dad in a way I never had in the months before he died. I will cherish every moment we shared and every memory we made. I only hope to make him proud and build on his legacy with kindness and love. This made every struggle worthwhile to have had this time with him before we lost him," he penned. Steve's brother Lawrence Wright said he believed the late broadcaster's life choices were a factor in his death, as he admitted the star didn't always look after himself. Lawrence, 65, said, he was aware that he could have looked after himself better, in his lifestyle choices. "Obviously we all wish he had. It's like anyone who doesn't look after themselves over an extended period. The normal stuff, diet, nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress. He was a very stoic kind of guy as well, so if he had something wrong with him and he had to go to have some treatment or go to the doctors, he wouldn't talk about it." Former ITV boss Mr. Wells also revealed that Steve had been offered his afternoon slot back on Radio 2 shortly before his death. In September 2022, bosses handed the afternoon slot to Scott Mills, leaving Steve with just his Sunday Love Songs program. But Mr. Wells said that Steve was asked about a return to the slot just days before he passed away. He said, "This is absolutely the truth and the BBC will deny this, but this is what Steve said to me last Friday. He said, 'Guess what happened this week? I got a call from Radio 2 and they very quietly asked me how I would feel about going back to do the afternoons. My reaction was like yours, followed by laughter. I said, oh my God, what do you think of that?' And he said, well, he thought it was funny as well. And he said, I don't know if you should ever go back in life though, do you? Given what's happened since, I feel that gives the story of Steve Wright's broadcasting career a wonderful symmetry. There's a slight poetry to it somehow." However, a spokesman for the BBC denied Mr. Wells' claims. They said, "This isn't right. We spoke to Steve alongside other presenters about our plans for the new Radio 2 DAB+ extension, which we announced last week, including simulcasting his Sunday Love Songs on the station, and agreed to discuss further content ideas in due course." There was no mention of afternoons or Radio 2. The B-Bar this weekend airing a series of specials in his honor. A special commission celebrating Steve Wright's BBC career will be aired later this year. Sunday Love Songs return to air this weekend, hosted by Liza Tarbuck, for a special edition of the weekend staple. An emotional Liza opened the show. "Good morning to you, we are live in Wogan House. This is Steve Wright's Sunday love songs without the chief. Without our genius friend. So while you're getting a tissue, I think it would be lovely if you lit him a candle. I make no apologies if I get upset during the next 2 hours, and you shouldn't either," added Liza as she promised to play nothing but Steve's favorite tracks and to pepper the show with messages from listeners about the radio legend.